Alright, we're back in the shop. Screaming Demons RC, SDRC. We've got these foot pegs and rear caliper to install in the losi PROMOTO. I did a video on the review of these parts last time. You can check that out if you didn't see that. And I wanted to modify them like I was saying in the last video, so I did that. I've taken quite a bit of weight out. I'll show you there. I've taken quite a bit of weight out. Drilled a big hole in there. Drilled a couple at the back there, you can see. And the very top, I've drilled it out and countersunk it. Take out even more weight. And on this hole here, very bottom, that big hole I countersunk. Also where that M4 screw is, that was out. I countersunk that a bit more because from how it came, the screw wasn't quite flush. So I countersunk that and finished that up. And like I said, I did the same with this one over here. So they're both the same now, and the weight savings I'll show you here in a picture on the screen. I'll give you the weights of how they came stock and what I did with them modified. You'll see that in a second here. And the caliper, I haven't done anything. We're just going to install these on the bike. So here was the original foot pegs right here. You can see this one's on the transmission casing, and I noticed it was actually a bit loose, because you can't put Loctite on these because it's a screw going into plastic. You'll just melt the plastic, so that'll be good. I can replace it with these, which can be Loctited. They won't come loose. And here's the other one up here on the outer cover, on the front sprocket guard area. That's where it mounts to right there. And I'll show you what they're like when they're all mounted. Well, let's get it done here. Alright, we're back. I got that caliper put on there, and I've also got the foot pegs put on here. You can see them there. Looking really great. They look a lot better on than they do off, that's for sure. When they're off, they look a little large, but once they're on the bike, they look perfect. Just like I said, a big burly pegs you'd have on a motocross bike. Okay, they fit good, the pegs. I'm really happy with those. One thing about this caliper, though, it did not fit perfectly. This is not a stock swing arm, obviously, but I had no problem mounting the original plastic caliper to this Vidavon swing arm. This caliper, however, you can see right at the bottom where this screw mounts in, I had to, on the caliper itself, had to get out my Dremel and take a little bit of aluminum off because this screw was not sitting flush. The caliper wasn't sitting flush with the mounts on the swing arm. And so I had to modify, I'm trying to get that without getting shadow on it. I had to modify that just a bit to make the screw tighten up properly. And also, it seems like the screws, the holes for the caliper, are about a 0.5 millimeter off. So it did tighten down, but it was kind of tight, and I had to be very careful I wasn't cross-threading the screws going into the caliper because the threads are on the caliper. So just take note, if you buy this piece, be careful, because if you have a Vidavon swing arm or an aftermarket swing arm, they might have a problem fitting perfectly. It does fit, a little bit of finessing to get it on there perfect. If you have a stock swing arm, I'm not sure if it fits perfect to a stock swing arm or not. I didn't want to modify my swing arm, the holes, by enlarging them at all. Not for a cheap caliper part like that. And so anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know, it's still an okay part, but I don't think I would recommend it for purchase. If you can get another one for about the same price, I would go with something else. And yeah, that's just my example. I did have it work for me though. And another thing is, you can see it does clear the disc, but one thing is it sits up pretty high above the disc. You can see that there, and I don't know, it doesn't look like, I think some of them are better on the market than this one. So not highly recommended, this brand, JAZRIDER. The brand isn't that bad, but this, a little bit of problems with that. And same with these. They're good, but they were a little heavy and they could have been designed better. So as the old saying goes, you get what you pay for. These were a fairly cheap part, and I think that's shows in the how they were designed and made. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. We'll flip the bike around. You can see the other side. Like I said, I'm quite happy with the foot pegs now that they are on there. I'm quite happy with them. They look great. You can see that one on this side. Yeah. So anyway, have yourself a good night. Thanks for watching my video. Hopefully you got something out of that. And give me a thumbs up if you did. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go and check these out for yourself. Like I said, they were not that expensive, but a little bit of modifications. If you like doing that stuff, it's not too hard to do. Anyway, take her easy. Screaming Demons RC, SDRC, we're out.